The 2-1. Lindor towards right center field. This one is back. It is gone! Grand slam! And Lindor puts the Mets on top. The biggest swing of the season for New York.
3-second differential. Shot clock, game clock. Shot clock down to 5. Here's Towns from 3. It's gone! Karl-Anthony Towns with the dagger. 3-point field goal.
Knicks regain their composure. Towns, deep 3-ball with the sweep.
What up, Knicks Nation? It is your boy Top Bunk Sports, Dave from Top Bunk Sports. Excuse me for that. And I just wanted to do a quick post-game video about the game tonight. The New York Knicks escaped the Chicago Bulls 113-111. They have now gotten the 37th win of the year. And man, I'm gonna tell you straight up, I'm not happy about this win. I'm not. A lot of y'all might be happy, and a lot of y'all might be, shaking pom-poms, shaking ass. I'm not. And I'm going to tell you why. When it comes to a depleted Bulls team, they're still got, first of all, I was not taking the Chicago Bulls lightly by any stretch of the imagination. I was not. You still got a guy in Vucevic that can still get some points in the paint. You still got Kobe White, who the Knicks can't seem to slow down. They had Josh Giddey looking like a superstar tonight with 27 points. Like, certain guys that know, we're gonna make a name for ourselves, especially going in the Garden. Something always tells me that when you got a new guy or young team coming into the Garden, they always tend to just turn up at the Garden. I don't know what it is. I honestly don't know what it is. I can never put a finger on what the hell be the problem. But it'd be that. But again, this team defensively, I just don't know what the hell it is. I really don't. The problem with the Knicks right now, man, is they're defensively, they suck. They suck. And I know they didn't have Josh Hart. I know they didn't have OG Anunoby. I know Josh Hart's injury was announced a couple of days ago, and they announced that he was out. But dude, you can't tell me that we can't play better defense. You can't. You just can't. You honestly can't. This team, for some reason, just loves to give up the 3-ball. I don't know what it is. I don't understand what it is. They just love to give the 3-ball away, and that's a problem. That's a fucking problem. That to me right now is an issue that the Knicks can't seem to control. And the issue with that is that when you go into the playoffs, they're gonna kill you with threes. When you can't defend the perimeter like how we've seen them defend the perimeter against a Memphis team, against a Houston Rockets team, when we've seen that type of energy, that is when the Knicks are on top of the game defensively. When they don't have that type of energy defensively, they're screwed. They are screwed, and it just shows. Tonight, in terms of what we've seen from the Knicks, right? I mean, again, the two player of the games tonight have to be Karl-Anthony Towns and Duce McBride, right? Karl-Anthony Towns, 32 points, 2 assists, 18 rebounds. He shot 14-30 from the field. He had 2 steals. He wasn't efficient from 3, though. Only 2 of 10 from 3. So that was a little bit concerning. But again, he's kind of coming back from that finger injury. Gotta let him go ahead and really get acclimated again from the 3. Obviously, in the All-Star game, he was shooting the 3 like nothing. So that was very, positive to see. He's not just going to pick it up automatically. Got to let him build it in again, game by game. He's been dealing with some issues with that finger. So, again, I'm not really going at him for the 3-point shot, but glad that he was able to stay efficient. Again, 18 rebounds. I'm always expecting a high number of rebounds, especially because he's always in the paint on both ends. So I'm expecting him to grab those boards as much as he can, especially with Mitchell Robinson out. I will get to that at the very end, because Mitchell Robinson and Karl-Anthony Towns, both in the starting lineup, is a very important discussion. Duce McBride, a huge game for Duce McBride today. You talk about a guy that always makes his presence felt when he's coming off the bench, always making his name felt, always making his presence known when he's in the game, and always especially defensively. We always talked about how great Duce McBride is coming off the bench defensively, and today he was just all over the place, man. You're talking about 23 points, 3 assists, 6 rebounds, 9 of 19 from the field, 3 blocks, 3 steals, 5 of 12 from 3. key moments from Duce McBride tonight, and I'm really proud of this kid in terms of what he's been able to do and what he's able to bring to the table. Duce McBride is a very key component going into the playoffs. He's going to be a very key component off the bench in terms of mixing in with the benches and some of the starters and being able to just fulfill a role and fulfill a momentum that the Knicks can pick up with him in there. And that's why he's so key. That's why Leon Rose didn't want to trade him for Donovan Mitchell. He didn't want to involve him in certain trades because he understood what Duce McBride's bring to a team. And you're seeing it right now. Our captain Jalen Brunson had some clutch buckets today, but he was okay. He was solid. Wouldn't say it was his best game, which is kind of why he kind of looked a little bit defeated, looked a little bit depleted because he knew he could do better. But 22 points, 12 assists. I gotta give him credit on that. A lot of Knicks fans don't give Jalen Brunson credit when it comes to the assist. I don't understand why. His assist numbers are always high. When his assist numbers are not that high, it's because he's going off in the game. And it's like, why am I gonna keep passing the ball when I'm going off right now? You gotta let your best scorer go off, even if the assist numbers are low. But again, 22 points, 12 assists, 3 rebounds. He shot 8 of 21 from the field, 1 block, 1 steal, 2 of 9 from 3. So again, he another one that wasn't that efficient from 3 today. If you look at the game early, they shot the 3 ball a lot. And it was one of those things where they just looked drained early when it came to shooting 3. Again, the Knicks shoot a very high percentage from 3. So for them to it didn't really shock me that they were going straight into the 3 ball early, but it was kind of one of those things where it was like, okay, the 3 ball is not working. Why don't we focus more on attacking in the paint? 3 balls not falling. So if you're not going to get nothing from the 3, can we attack more? Can we move the ball a little bit better? You know what I'm saying? And funny enough, we were down maybe about like 2 minutes into the game. We were down like 6-0. And Tibbs calls a very smart timeout. Kind of gets everybody focused. They start, Jalen Brunson comes out of that timeout with a layup off the backboard, gets us on the board, and we're down 6-2. And from there, everything just acclimated. But again, you're not always going to be successful when you have droughts like that to start the game, because teams like Milwaukee, teams like the Boston Celtics, teams like the Cleveland Cavaliers are always going to capitalize on that, and they're going to push on you, and they're going to create a large margin to where now you're in a situation where you really are. Not only are you continuing to struggle from 3, but you're not going to get that momentum back because they just keep capitalizing on every single missed shot and turnover that you create. So that's a key component in terms of what I'm looking for the Knicks to kind of fix when they're going up against these teams, because again, Cleveland and the Boston Celtics especially are very good at capitalizing on other teams' mistakes. I want to go into a little bit of numbers for this game tonight. You had the Knicks obviously shot 43% from the field. From 3 points, they shot 14 of 46 from 3. So obviously not that efficient. And that's again one of the things I'm talking about. For a team that shoots a very high percentage of 3s, for them not to be efficient against a team like that who really doesn't play that good of a defense overall as a team, it's very, very shocking to me. And that's something that cannot happen in the playoffs, especially against like if you just break down the Boston Celtics, right? A Boston Celtics team that shoots a lot of 3s, like Joe Mazzulla got them shooting a lot of 3s, and these are guys that know how to put the ball down put the ball on the floor and create a shot when they're not just catching the ball off the pass and they're just ready to shoot. No, they know how to create their shots. They know when to take 3s at a smart pace. And you got to give them credit. This is what makes them NBA champion, and this is what makes them a great team. So we'll look at some more stats over here, right? I'll get into that right now. You had the Knicks, obviously, like I said, 43% from the field. The Knicks had 28 assists as a team, so that's not as bad. They had 54 rebounds. They had 17 fast break points, excuse me. And that again, I brought that up in my last video that I did about the Knicks. Them having fast break points like that is very key. I honestly appreciate that. They had 10 steals, and part of it was Duce McBride doing his work on defense. So you got to give him credit for that. 7 blocks, key blocks. They had 10 offensive rebounds. They had 44 defensive rebounds. And then they had 17 points off turnovers. But the Chicago Bulls, however, had 18 points off of turnovers. And that is where you cannot go into this game tomorrow against Cleveland and on Sunday against the Boston Celtics. You can't have that same amount of points off of turn. You can't let them get that much points over turnovers, because again, they will capitalize that. And like Mike Breen said earlier, or in the second half of the game, he said the Knicks are very good in the department of turning over the ball. So the misfunctions that we saw against the Atlanta Hawks, the misfunctions that we saw taking care of the basketball today, you can't have that going into these next 2 games, and they are very, very critical. I thought that the Knicks were able to capitalize on transition offensive buckets, so I got to give them credit on that. Again, everything was led by Karl-Anthony Towns, who was very aggressive, shoot, and when he realized that his threes weren't going in that much, he was getting a lot of points in the paint. A lot of the calls that they weren't making on him were very, very questionable, I would say. He doesn't get a lot of calls. So that's another thing. That's another thing that I continue to gripe on. He doesn't get a lot of calls. So, he will continue to fight for that. But I'm looking more for this Knicks team to just protect the perimeter, man. Protect the perimeter. Hopefully, when OG does come back, that tightens up more. That's probably what it is. Maybe they're missing his presence in terms of defense, and that's why the defense is kind of slowed down, which kind of makes sense. But if they can go ahead and they can protect the perimeter defense, man, I would. This team would be so much better if they would communicate on defense better. This team would be so much better on that end if they would be able to just move the ball at a fast pace. I'm telling you, ball move. I've always preached this, that ball movement is key. When your ball movement is catching up and ball movement is key, you're winning. It doesn't matter what it is, you're winning. So they got to stay on top of that. They got to make sure that when they get to Cleveland and they begin this game against the Cavs, that they got to move at a fast pace, attack every part of the Knicks, whether it's Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. Cat got to give Jared Allen. Oh my God, I can't even say his name right. They got to give Allen hell. That's what he got to do. He got to give Jared Allen hell, and you got to go ahead and Evan Mobley, who's playing one of the best. He's playing one of the best basketballs of his career. You got to be able to stop him. And again, if Josh Hart doesn't come in tomorrow, I'm looking at pressures of Achua and saying, how are you isolating Evan Mobley? How are you making it uncomfortable? How are you making sure that he doesn't go to his left? You know what I'm saying? Like certain things like that, I'm looking at pressures of Achua or Josh Hart to see how they isolate that, because Evan Mobley is at the top of this game right now, and is one of the reasons why the Cavs are where they're at. Who's going to isolate Donovan Mitchell? If Duce McBride comes in tomorrow, right? How is Duce McBride going to stay in front of Donovan Mitchell and make sure that he tries to take the ball away from him early, try to strip him, try to go make him uncomfortable on defense, try to keep him at an isolated position where he's not doing what he needs to do. You look at that Darius Garland. What is Jalen Brunson going to do defensively against Darius Garland? How are they going to stop Darius Garland from getting to that 3-point shot? How are they going to stop him from trying to attack in the paint, trying to move the ball, and trying to get that rhythm going? A lot of things defensively that need to be answered, because if they're not going to have nothing defensively, there's a good chance that against a team like the Cavs, who we haven't beaten yet, or against a juggernaut team of the Boston Celtics, how are they going to stop them on the perimeter on both ends? And when you're able to do that, and then Cat, if he's able to isolate Al Horford, things will go right for us. But we still got to make our shots. We still got to hit our layups. We still got to make our free throws on a consistent basis. If we're doing what we need to do on the defensive end, and we're hitting our shots and creating more open shots for others and moving the ball at a nice pace, I guarantee that we will come out of a win tomorrow and against Boston and go 3-0. But again, they got to capitalize on their mistakes when they play those teams, especially the Boston Celtics. There's a lot of film that needs to be watched. And they probably won't be watched as a team, right? Because they got to go play a game tomorrow. But individually, they know, listen, let's look at our last 2 games against the Boston Celtics. Let's see what went wrong, that we lost by that much, and let's utilize that, make sure that we eliminate that for Sunday's game. So it's going to be an interesting 2 games. The last thing that I want to talk about before I get off is the situation with Mitchell Robinson and Cat. Obviously, Mitchell Robinson is ramping up. Mitchell Robinson is coming back, and a lot of people have always been have been speculating, what is going to happen with Mitchell Robinson returning. Is he going to start? Is he coming off the bench? Personally, for me, this can go both ways. You have him come back, you have him at the 5, you have Cap at the 4, you have Cap basically do what he needs to do offensively, post up, get to his spot. If he needs to shoot the 3 with Mitchell Robinson spacing out the floor, cool, got it. His rebound numbers, I'm assuming, will go down a little bit because you have Mitchell Robinson in there. But at the same time, it's why not have 2 big guys, two defensive juggernaut, one offensive juggernaut, your power forward and Cat, and one of your defensive juggernauts in your center in Mitchell Robinson, and kind of create hell to the point where the rest of our guards in Jalen Brunson, possibly OG Anunoby, and Mikal Bridges, who are the 2 wing stop between OG and Mikal, where they can lock up the perimeter and really cause havoc and make sure that guys can't really just get into the paint easy with Cat and Mitchell Robinson behind them. The other point is, if you keep Cat at the 5, you have Mitch come off the bench. Cat doesn't really need to play the entire first. You sit him out for a couple of the first, bring Mitch in, let Mitch get his reps in or whatever, and defensively, and let him show that presence to where now when he comes into the second quarter, he could stay in with the bench, and the bench have a defensive juggernaut at center, where now it's Achua and Mitch. So you have 2 guys that can really cause havoc on defense and it all revolves around Mitch. It all revolves around Mitch. Whether he starts and whether he comes off the bench, he is helping both groups, depending on how his minutes are with Tibbs. So again, there's a lot of key things with Mitchell Robinson that could happen. My only problem is when we get to the playoffs, how is that going to translate with him, and is he going to stay healthy? This is why a lot of people don't put belief in Mitchell Robinson, because he'll come back for a couple months, then he's hurt. Then he needs surgery. Then he won't be back for a couple. It's like, how long can the Knicks deal with the issues that Mitchell Robinson has with injuries, and how long are they going to keep it up? When is it going to be like, listen, if we got to release this guy, we got to release him. If we could trade him. If we can move him, do what you got to do. But how long can the Knicks withstand when Mitchell Robinson always getting hurt? That's going to be the key thing for me. He's coming back from a major injury. How can he stay consistent? How can he stay keep his longevity on the court going, and how can he help us and just try to stay as healthy as he can? That's my concern with Mitchell Robinson, but I hope that when Mitchell Robinson comes back, he helps us a lot, and we don't really got to deal with the negativities with Mitch, because Mitch is really getting like a 50-50 rep when it comes to the Knicks fans, man. And I can't blame him. Some like Mitch because he has shown defensively he's a juggernaut in the paint, but some don't like Mitch because, again, he's always getting hurt, and he complains a lot on social media about certain things that's being said about him. So we'll see what Mitch we get when he returns, but I appreciate everybody tuning in to this Knicks post-game video. The Knicks, once again, beat the Chicago Bulls 113-111 and go up to a record of 37-18, stay third in the Eastern Conference. I appreciate you guys, and I will check you guys out on the next video. Peace.